All right, Larry Krueger from the Pig in a Pickle Krug Show with this 49er video. We're down here in Arizona, courtesy of New York style Italian sausage. And today we're doing a little video on Colton Mckivitz. The Niners have re-signed their offensive lineman. Now, Mckivitz was a restricted free agent. He gets a 2-year extension through the 2024 season. He was a 5th-round pick from the 2020 NFL draft. And as I said, he was scheduled to be a restricted free agent this offseason. And now you got Mike McGlinchey basically telling everybody he's bailing. McGlinchey's gone. Bye-bye, McGlinchey. I think he's going to the Bears. The Bears have $95 million in cap room, and the Niners can't compete with that. So, McGlinchey's going to be a Chicago Bear. I'm really convinced that that's going to be the case. A lot of rumors that he's going to be a free agent, that he's going to leave in free agency like day one, and I expect him to. I think the Niners like him, and I think McGlinchey's a solid player, but they're not going to pay the kind of money that he's going to get in free agency, and they're going to let him walk. So they have a hole at right tackle. Now, Jake Brendel's also a free agent, so they might have a hole at center and right tackle. But at least today, they're re-signing a damn good football player. I'm a huge Colton Mckivitz fan. Now, I like Mckivitz. I think Mckivitz is a good guy. He's a hunter. He's a fisherman. His dad makes crazy raccoon hats from West Virginia. And this is just a good old boy from West Virginia who loves to play football. And the 49ers now have Mckivitz and Jalen Moore at right tackle going into free agency and then going into the draft. And the Niners have a bunch of draft picks in this draft, bunch of compensatory picks. They've got a bunch of picks in that 3rd round, and they might be able to, to find a replacement for McGlinchey in that 3rd round. But if they can't, if they have to lean on Colton Mckivitz, I think they're fine. I think Mckivitz could plug and play at right tackle and play really well. Now, I did an interview with Trent Williams, and Trent Williams told me that he was amazed by how Colton Mckivitz, it doesn't matter if he's going up against the best player in the world. It doesn't matter if he's going up against Aaron Donald or somebody truly elite. He doesn't care. He says he's just a tough guy who loves to play football, and it doesn't bother him to be going up against a great player. He's not intimidated or somehow, wowed because he's going up against a great player. He's just a throwback. He's a tough kid who keeps it really simple, and he prepares. He's smart, he's versatile, and he's tough. So that's really it. That's what you're looking for in a good offensive lineman, especially in the Niners scheme in 2023. Smart, versatile, and tough. And all those things define Colton Mckivitz. So the Niners are hugged up against the cap. They're going to have to make a decision as far as where right tackle sits on the totem pole, with their other positions of need. Is defensive tackle more important? Is corner more important? Is backup tight end more important? Is safety more important? I think when you really look closely at a lot of their free agent needs, they have more needs on the defensive side that take priority. They have to get a defensive end. They have to get a defensive tackle. They have to either bring Jimmy Ward back or find a playmaker or two in their secondary. I mean, these things take priority, I think, over a high pick at offensive tackle. So I love the addition or the re-signing, if you will, of Colton Mckivitz. Mckivitz is smart. He's tough. He's versatile. You can plug and play him at right tackle if you have to. You can let him battle Jalen Moore for that job. You could sign another, depth piece like a Tom Compton in free agency and let him battle it out. It's not that they couldn't go out and replace McGlinchey in free agency. They could. Caleb McGarry is one of my favorites. Played at University of Washington, played with the Atlanta Falcons this last year. I just think McGarry is going to wind up getting similar money to what McGlinchey got. So they can't afford McGlinchey. They probably can't afford Caleb McGarry either. I really like some players in the draft. Alex Palszewski, who's from Illinois, I think could be a day 3 pick. Either early to mid day 3. Curtis McClendon played guard Tennessee Chattanooga, but I really like him as a potential right tackle. And I think he could be a day 3 pick that could surprise people. So, and there's a couple others. Freeland, the big offensive tackle from BYU, the Niners met with him. He's very athletic. He's very versatile. He's smart. I think he makes a lot of sense. So, they have options definitely in the draft if they want to go in the draft, but they don't have a 1st round pick. and they don't have a second round pick. And generally, when you're trying to replace an offensive tackle, if you're doing it in the draft, you're usually, those guys usually go in round one. It's very difficult to find an offensive tackle that can play at all who doesn't go in, let's say, the first 40, 45 picks. If you have a good offensive tackle, he's a round one guy. If he's not a round one guy, he's going to be in the first half of round two. Typically, you're not going to find a starting offensive tackle in round 3 or 4, at all on day 3. You're never going to find an offensive tackle, it seems like, as an undrafted free agent. They usually go, there's a lot of value in these guys. The pass rushers in the NFL make tons of money, and there's a lot of great ones. So you definitely need somebody who can block these guys. What I love about Mckivitz is just no moment's too big for him. He's a guy who doesn't get you're going up against Aaron Donald this week, Colton. Yeah, so what? Who cares? He watches film, he lifts the weights, he prepares to play. He's got a better than average quickness, he's got better than average strength. He's significantly smarter than, most offensive linemen you're going to come across. I can see why the 49ers gave him that gold helmet designation coming out in the draft, because a lot of ways he checks all the boxes you're looking for. Is he versatile? Yeah, he is. He can play right tackle. He can play left tackle. He can play both guard spots. He can play center. The guy can literally play every spot on the offensive line. So he's tremendously versatile. Is he tough? Yeah, he's tough. He's not intimidated by the best players in the league. He's not up late at night, can't sleep the night before a game because he's fearing who his opponent is. No, that's not Colton Mckivitz. So he's versatile, he's tough, and I think the number one factor in Kyle Shanahan's offense is you got to be smart as an offensive lineman, because he uses a dizzying array of formations over the course of a game. And you have lots of shifts, lots of pre-snap motions. There's just a lot to put your arms around in this offense. So if you're a dumb offensive lineman, it ain't going to work. It's just not going to work. And Colton Mckivitz isn't. He's a really, really smart guy. So you're smart and you're tough and you're versatile and you're athletic. Sounds to me like you got a winner there. Then you mix in the fact that you've got Jalen Moore. You also have Nick Zakelj. I think both those guys could factor in at right tackle. Don't forget Spencer Burford, who played right guard much of this year, played at University of Texas, San Antonio. He played right tackle for a lot of years. Also, the 49ers made it to an NFC Championship game with Tom Compton 2 years ago against the Rams. Compton is also a free agent. You could allow McGlinchey to walk for monster dollars and replace him with bargain dollars in a Tom Compton. So I like this move. I like this move, re-signing Colton Mckivitz. Why? Because I think if you don't find your player in free agency or the draft, Mckivitz can start for you at right tackle. And let's say McGlinchey is a 9. I think, Colton's a 7.5. Is he McGlinchey? No. But I don't think there's a huge drop off from Mike McGlinchey to Colton Mckivitz. So if this enables you to re-sign Jimmy Ward or go sign an impact defensive lineman or fill another need on your football team because you've got, a trustworthy candidate there in Colton Mckivitz, then mission accomplished. But I think overall for the 49ers, you got to be, if you're a Niner fan, you have to be thrilled that Colton Mckivitz is back in the fold. Smart, tough, versatile, physical. And by the way, I was joking with him about his duck hunting. And so he's like, hey, man, I'm a hunter. I said, well, Colton, I'm not, man. I grew up in the Sunset District in the city. And, only thing I was hunting was Muni buses on 19th Avenue. And so the last day of the year, I'm crossing the street down in Santa Clara, and he's got his duck calling whistle, and he's quack, 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 quack. And he's blowing it at me as he's turning the corner in his pickup truck. So Colton Mckivitz is a smart guy. He's a tough guy. He's a physical guy. He's a versatile guy. At the end of the day, pretty cool dude as well. So hope you enjoyed the Pig in a Pickle Krug Show video. We're down here in Arizona, courtesy of New York style Italian sausage. And we'll have more content on the Krug Show throughout the week. So keep it locked right here on YouTube, the Krug Show. And thanks to New York Style Italian Sausage for being our proud sponsor of our spring training trip to Arizona.